My mom always said life was like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get. Those must be comfortable shoes.
Robert Zemeckis, along with Steven Spielberg, are without a doubt my favorite iconic directors from the 80s and 90s. After all, if it wasn't for Zemeckis, Back to the Future would never have become my utmost favorite best film in the entire universe. There's just something about that movie that has always made me dream and simply want to study time travel and the ever-changing evolution of the world. Even though Robert Zemeckis is such an influential director, he has stated in a couple of interviews that in order to get to that level in his career, he had to do enormous sacrifices in his life. In Zemeckis' words, "I won an Academy Award when I was 44 years old, but I paid for it with my 20s. That decade of my life, from film school till 30, was nothing but work, nothing but absolute driving work. I had no money, I had no life." With that being said, the quality of his work does transpire in his movies, so let's look into it. Robert Zemeckis in the 90s. This decade started with a big bang for Zemeckis as he finally completed his Back to the Future trilogy, which is unquestionably one of the biggest movie franchises and successes that has actually withstood the test of time. Back to the Future Part 2 and Part 3 were filmed back to back, meaning that production for Part 2 and 3 started in February 1989 and ended in January 1990, with only a 3-week break in principal photography, and some of the filming of the third film was overlapping with the second movie. Doing these sequels back to back paid off as they were extremely huge successes and led Robert Zemeckis to even bigger films. In 1992, after a bit of a break, Zemeckis directed the black comedy Death Becomes Her. This movie is a dark comedy starring Meryl Streep, Goldie Hawn, and Bruce Willis. It tells the story of a novelist who wound up in a psychiatric hospital after losing her man to a movie star and former friend. Years later, she returns home to confront the now married couple, looking beautiful and younger than ever. Her ex-husband's new wife does everything in her power to find out the secret to her radiance and discovers that she has been taking a mysterious drug which grants eternal life to the person who drinks it. The actress drinks the potion too, but she quickly discovers that immortality has a price. After the success of this movie, well, this led Zemeckis to direct his first dramatic movie. Even though it has some comedic elements, the movie in question is Forrest Gump, starring Tom Hanks, and was also his biggest commercial success, grossing $677 million worldwide. This movie also won him 6 Academy Awards, including Best Picture, Best Actor for Tom Hanks, and Best Director. This movie tells the story of Forrest Gump, who is slightly slow-witted but has never thought of himself as disadvantaged. Thanks to the support of his mother, he leads a very good life. Using his childlike optimism and curiosity, Gump becomes a college football star, a Vietnam War hero, a pro ping pong player, the captain of a shrimp boat, and inspires a whole nation while running across the country 4 times for a total of 420 days or 15,248 miles. This movie also has an intricate love story between him and Jenny, his childhood friend, which creates many difficulties throughout his life. If you haven't seen this movie, I highly recommend it, as it just tells such a beautiful story. Plus, after this initial collaboration, Tom Hanks became one of Zemeckis' biggest collaborators in future films. In 1997, Robert Zemeckis directed Contact, which was a long gestating project based on Carl Sagan's 1985 novel of the same name. The film stars Jodie Foster, who plays Dr. Ellie Arroway, who is trying to interpret a possible alien message originating from the Vega star system. Once first contact is proven with an extraterrestrial intelligence, Dr. Arroway struggles to surmount nation security and religious fanatics bent on containing the implications of such an event. Within the message, she finds a hidden message that, when unencrypted, contains plans for the manufacturing of an enormous machine, apparently a spacecraft of some sort, which will allow a single human to have a meeting with the alien intelligence located on a planet called Vega, 25 light years away from Earth. This movie was an incredibly bold movie blending science with religion and politics, and was a box office success. Back in 1996, Zemeckis had started developing a project called Castaway with Tom Hanks, which would only start filming in 1999. The story was inspired by Robinson Crusoe, where a man gets stranded on a deserted island and undergoes a profound and spiritual change. While working on that movie, he became attached to a Hitchcockian-style thriller entitled What Lies Beneath. Because Tom Hanks' character needed to lose weight over the course of filming Castaway, Zemeckis filmed the first part of that movie in 1999 and then decided that the only way to retain the same crew while waiting for Hanks to lose that weight was to shoot What Lies Beneath in fall 1999 and then transitioning back to Castaway in early 2000. What Lies Beneath tells the story of Claire, the wife of a research scientist who believes that her house is haunted by a ghost. Her husband dismisses her terror and delusion, but as she moves closer to the truth, it becomes clearer that this apparition will not be dismissed and has come back for her and her husband. After filming 2 movies back to back, kind of like when he did Back to the Future 2 and 3, Zemeckis quickly confessed that he wouldn't recommend it to anyone. What Lies Beneath had mixed reviews upon its release, even though it made $155 million domestically. Castaway was released in December 2000 and grossed to $133 million domestically, earning Tom Hanks an Oscar as Best Actor for his portrayal of Chuck Noland. In 2004, Zemeckis reteamed with Tom Hanks in order to direct The Polar Express, based on a children's book by Chris Van Allsburg. When Hanks auctioned it in 1999, he had done so on the condition that it would be a live-action film. Zemeckis convinced Hanks that it would be too expensive and practically impossible at the time to create a movie that kept the artwork of the original film without going the CGI route. Hanks accepted, and they used the state-of-the-art for that time technology in order to capture the performances with a motion capture system that was designed specifically to collect every discernible movement and subtle human expression down to Hanks's or other actors' smile, wink, or walk. As this was the first movie to use performance capture, the New York Times wrote that whatever critics and audiences make of the movie, from a technical perspective, it could mark a turning point in the gradual transition from an analog to digital cinema. Because of the experience earned working on a fully CGI movie, Zemeckis in 2007 teamed up with Walt Disney chairman Dick Cook and announced plans for a new capture film company devoted to CG-created 3D movies. The company was dubbed Image Movers Digital and created films using the performance capture technology, with Zemeckis directing most of the projects, which Disney would distribute. This led to the CGI film Beowulf that retold the Anglo-Saxon epic poem of the same name. This was a pretty violent take on the Beowulf legend and did well at the box office. Zemeckis, excited about this captured performance 3D cinema technology, announced that all his future films would be using this technique, and he went forward with making A Christmas Carol, which was released in November 2009 to mixed reviews but grossed $325 million at the box office. Soon after its release, the director did retract a statement on 3D films and said that the decision to use 3D would be on a film-by-film basis. After making 3 fully CGI movies, Zemeckis made his return to live action with Flight, a 2012 drama starring Denzel Washington that tells a loosely inspired story about the plane crash of Alaska Airlines Flight 261. In the movie, pilot Whip Whittake, a commercial airline pilot, has a problem with drugs and alcohol, though so far he's managed to complete his flights safely. When a disastrous mechanical malfunction sends his plane hurtling towards the ground, Whittaker pulls off a miraculous crash landing that results in only 6 lives lost. In 2015, he directed the true story The Walk, which is about Philippe Petit, who is a high-wire artist that walked between the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center on August 7, 1974. This is actually an amazing movie that really shows how a dream and motivation can lead to greatness. Probably one of the most ambitious and crazy stunts to have been executed, and the way that the movie depicts the whole execution of that plan, remaining undetected until the walk between the 2 towers, well, it just tells such a beautiful story. In 2016, he directed Allied, a romantic thriller set during World War II that tells the story of a Canadian intelligence officer who falls in love with a French resistance fighter while posing as a married couple during a mission in Casablanca. In 2018, Zemeckis directed another war-themed movie which tells the story of Mark Hogenkamp, who gets assaulted and as a result of that loses all of his memories. Putting together pieces from the past and present, Mark meticulously creates a Belgian town and becomes a hero World War II fighter pilot. Through this fantasy world, Mark finds the strength to triumph in the real world and face his attackers. As of October 18, 2019, Robert Zemeckis is in talks with Disney to direct the adaptation of Pinocchio. Tom Hanks was announced to play Geppetto in the film, making this the fourth collaboration since Forrest Gump, The Polar Express, and Castaway. Undoubtedly, throughout his career, ambition, and hard work, Zemeckis has come from dreaming of being a director in his childhood to creating small-budget films that didn't do too well at the box office, to finally making the greatest movie of all time, in my opinion. Back to the Future. And then remaining as a powerhouse of a director with strong mentor friendships with director Steven Spielberg. Well, please be sure to subscribe and hit the like button. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. A lot of work was put in researching all of this, and I enjoyed being able to bring this to you guys. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.